Back to the grind. Stick to the process. Process, habits, routines. You wake up, it's just more of the same. You get a success. The next day, not a lot really changes. And it's just back to the grind, back to the process. That's what it's all about. Process, habits, routines. Not getting distracted, not wasting time, managing your schedule, being conscious, deliberate, and intentional in everything that you do. You're not wasting any opportunities. You're getting off of instant gratification, stimulation, distractions, avoiding yourself, trying to run from yourself. Wherever you go, there you are. You can't run from yourself. You might think it's the environment that's affecting your results. No, wherever you go, there you are. You make the best out of the environment that you're in. It It's not the circumstances that make the man. The circumstances reveal the man. And so every day, you just wake up and it's more of the same. The future is not guaranteed. Results are not guaranteed. So then, you just try to live the best that you can every single day. You have gratitude. You have appreciation for the now. You live in the now. You're not trying to get... You're not thinking that someday you're going to get to some future and then you'll be happy, because that future isn't guaranteed. And in some ways, you're never going to be satiated. Whether it's you're eating junk food, you're consuming porn, you're masturbating profusely, compulsively, it's never satisfying. It's never satisfactory. You could always do it again. You could always eat more junk food. You could always eat another cupcake. So then it's about making the right decisions, the decisions that are best for your well-being, health, nutrition. Your reward will be that you are successful in everything that you do. You will be more successful in everything that you do. That's your reward. Your reward isn't going to be you getting to consume porn or eating junk food or doing whatever you want. No, your reward is success. You're watching how you're spending your money. You're watching how you're spending your time. You're watching how you're spending your energy. You're simplifying your life. Simplicity. Almost boring like. But yet that's how you're going to end up actually living an extraordinary life, an exciting life, is by the boring, same actions on a daily basis. And it's not, and boring to me isn't actually bad. And it doesn't mean boring in the sense that maybe most people would think when they hear that word. It just means that you know your goals, you have a vision, you have clarity on what you want, and then you're taking the actions that are likely to produce that result, and you're just sticking with it on a daily basis. And everything's going to go up. Your finances are going to go up. Again, your finances are going to go up because you're focusing on that aspect of your life. But just because you end up stopping what we would consider bad habits, you're not just indulging in instant gratification. You're not just indulging in things impulsively. You're strategic. You're coming up with an action plan and you're sticking to it on a daily basis. And so just by stopping those habits, that does not guarantee you success. You don't automatically get to have all the wealth, automatically get to have the material success. No, because that takes time. That takes time, and nobody gets to skip the process. But as soon as you make that switch in your mind to start living in accordance with your values, with your principles, with integrity, with yourself, and you figure out what it is that you want in life and understand that there's certain actions that you can take that are likely to produce that result, and then you decide that you're going to stick with it, and you're no longer controlled by external factors, but you take control of yourself, self-discipline, self-control, self-mastery. At that point, you've already won. At that point, you've already won when you're able to stick to the process, when you're able to take the right actions on a daily basis, which every single day is a struggle. It's a new day. Like Grant Cardone might say, you got to recommit yourself on a daily basis, renew your commitment on a daily basis. That's why having a clear vision of your life, what you want to accomplish. And in some ways, there is no finish line because you're never going to be satisfied. Anytime you accomplish something, there's going to be something else. But on the other hand, there is a finish line. When you sit down and you do your book work for the day, the thing that most people don't want to do, the thing that is difficult, which is going to put you ahead of the majority of your competitors because everybody's struggling with discipline and self-control, and to sit down when nobody's watching, to make yourself do the thing that you don't want to do when you could just be watching TV. Think of all the time that you've wasted, all the opportunities that you've let pass. And that's the hard part too, because when you've been living a life of addiction, of time wasting, to have to then admit that to yourself, to have to accept that reality. All that time that you let go by, that you could have been using to put towards the things that you want to achieve in life, when you realize that you can do that, well, that's why you have self-sabotage and success barriers, is because you don't want to admit that. You'd rather just go back to smoking the weed, distracting yourself, avoiding those internal conflicts. Go out, eat the pint of ice cream, watch the TV, because it's painful to have to admit to yourself that you've wasted time. Think of all the TV that you've been watching and media that you've been consuming, and what you could have been doing instead, the opportunity cost. Living the life that you want to live, not living vicariously through a screen, but actually getting out there and becoming the type of man that you want to become. Of having the real life experiences that you would like to have, not just watching it through a screen where nothing changes, nothing improves, having to become the man that actually can accomplish those goals that you have for yourself. To have to live with integrity, to have to challenge yourself and cultivate the attributes and characteristics and qualities that is going to be required for you to succeed. And success is also not guaranteed. But that's why you cultivate a process that you can enjoy for the process itself, and that is likely to produce the results that you want, given you have the privilege of living the requisite amount of time to be able to build those skills, to be able to build the material wealth that you'd like to build for yourself. I went out the other day, I was shopping in the market, and I see I'm having these mindsets in mind when I'm going in there. And I said, I'm not going to waste opportunities anymore. I'm not going to waste my time anymore. I'm going to try to use my time to the fullest every single day. Taking deliberate, conscious actions. Everything is planned out. Everything is with deliberate intention from now on. And I'm walking through there and I see a girl that catches my eye, one of the aisles. And I say, that's it, I gotta go in. So I go and I grab something quick, as I like to act through my own intent, not rushing it. But I've made that decision. I'm not letting this opportunity pass anymore. No more wasted opportunities. No more wasted time. No more wasting my life. And as I'm walking up, I start feeling that anxiousness, that excitement, you might say. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for the girl. I'm doing this for myself. I'm not doing this for the outcome. The outcome doesn't matter. What matters is that I take action. What matters is that I make the decision to get in there and I do it. And that is a success. When you make a decision to do something, when you act through your own intent, and when you go and you take action, because you can't control somebody else. There's factors you can't control outside of yourself. But the one thing that you do have control over, which is also an achievement to cultivate self-control, is your actions. And I'm walking up and I go, I'm not doing this for the girl. This is for me. All that matters, all that is required of me is to approach. And that is a success. Letting go of the outcome. I don't need it to work. I don't need anything for this girl to give me anything. I'm just going up and I'm going to start a conversation. So I'm feeling that anxiousness. I'm feeling that excitement. And I go, I've been here before. I've felt this before. This is not new to me. That's where experience comes into play. That's where getting out there, getting that experience, where it becomes familiar. I've been here before. We're doing this. And you walk up and you go and open, you start a conversation, and that's the reward. And in the end, I ended up exchanging numbers with this person. So it's just, and I call that a lead. You're filling your funnel. It's like sales. You just got to keep filling that funnel. And again, that never ends, but then it does end because life ends. You get old. You get a disease. You all of a sudden you're hit by a car when you're driving down the street randomly. It all could end in an instant. I think it's good to reflect on death, to reflect on the fact that one day you are going to die, or that your life could change in an instant. So have gratitude for your life now, for the opportunities you have now. If you have the ability to get out there and strive and work towards your goals and set goals and make money and cultivate a life for yourself, if you have that ability, then it's not too late. but it will end one day. And in some regards, there is a finish line. I go up, I talk to that girl. That was my goal. That's a finish line. But then it's okay, what's the next thing now? You got to do it again. It's just how you live your life. And it's exciting and it's fun. And when you get to that point and you feel like you are in abundance, because you don't need to rely on any one person. You can get out there and you can create relationships for yourself. And you live in abundance. And you embrace abundance. And you embrace affluence and good things. You allow good things to come into your life. The art of allowing. And every single day, it's just another day. Wake up, do your work, back to the process. And then you let the results come as they will. Simple, calm, peace, serenity. Not living in chaos. Not living in scarcity, lack. Understanding that it isn't forever. Nothing is forever. Which is why you have gratitude and you have appreciation for everything that comes your way, every experience that you get to have, because nothing is guaranteed and you are entitled to nothing. But the beautiful thing is that you can get out there and you can take action and you can start building the skills that you want to build. And it's all a skill. Repetition, practice, getting out there into the field. That's what it's all about. Just show up. Quit wasting time. Stop wasting opportunities. And hit me up if you're ready to take action, if you're struggling in this area. I'm going to take you out into the field, as they say, and I'm going to push you and show you the process in how you can start changing your dating life as well. And I'm not going to let you make excuses. I'm going to be able to identify things that you're not going to be able to see, because when you're in it, you can't see it. That's why you have a coach. That's why you have someone to point these things out. Someone like myself with 13 years of experience that can show you what it is that you're doing, guide you, give you a process, call out the excuses, be honest with you, be giving you honest feedback. So hit me up, datingdestruction@gmail.com. Subscribe to my channel, like the video if you like the video. And until next time, peace out, my friends.